When you're forced to put your head down and do work that harms your community, your family, it harms you as a worker. It makes you complicit in violence, in this case, in apartheid. Hi, my name is Ariel. I'm a Jewish Google worker. I resigned this week due to Google's culture of retaliation and toxicity and harassment against workers who speak up for Palestinian rights.
My name is Gabriel. I'm a current Google employee, a researcher, and organizer with Alphabet Workers Union.
I'm part of a group of workers who have been seeking to hold the company accountable. Particularly, we are calling on our company Google to rescind Project Nimbus, which is a $1.2 billion contract between Google, Amazon, and the Israeli government and military.
In the training documents, there were some pretty scary indications about what the Israeli government is interested in using the technology for. As part of the cloud, Google Cloud, we provide really powerful AI tools. AI is powerful and it's also difficult, and Google is turning over the reins with zero control over how the technology is used.
And it's been made extremely clear that the tools provided through Project Nimbus are going to be used for surveilling Palestinians, for scaling out illegal settlement expansion. One of the other really concerning things about the contract is there's actually a clause that stipulates that Google has no right to regulate the way that the technology gets used. So essentially, Google is required to build powerful technology for the Israeli military and government, and then to wipe its hands of any sort of responsibility about the way that the government and military are using the technology. And we know that the ILA, the Israel Land Authority, is one of the beneficiaries of this contract. The ILA is the agency that is responsible for illegal settlement expansion. And Gabriel and myself were two Google workers who spoke out publicly.
The reason that big technology companies invest in these kind of perks and things like that, it's not out of the goodness of their heart, but it's actually to undermine potential organizing efforts.
We've seen Google, time after time, incidents after incidents, Google has retaliated against workers who speak out. And particularly, the company is weaponizing false narratives of Jewish identity, false narratives of anti-Semitism in order, to accuse anyone who speaks out about unethical company behavior against Palestinians and particularly in Israel, to silence any of those voices by issuing unfounded accusations of anti-Semitism. Palestinian workers report being issued HR warnings for things as simple as just identifying openly as Palestinian within the company. There was a worker who shared, that wearing Palestinian clothing, traditional Palestinian clothing to work, led them to be issued an HR warning.
Working at Google was always my dream job, until I learned about Project Nimbus. I feel like I'm making my living off the oppression of my family back home.
And that's a huge part of the reason that Gabriel and I decided to exercise the immense privilege that we hold as Jewish workers within the company. We decided to speak out because the company is denying our Palestinian coworkers the basic right and the privilege to feel safe just bringing their identities to work and speaking out.
We're calling on our colleagues across Google to join us in taking action amidst this crisis of conscience. Google workers, do not stay silent while your company fuels apartheid.
For Google workers who are watching, we hope that Google workers will take action Our Palestinian colleagues deserve much better than to be silenced and to fight this battle on their own. So let's speak out. And if you have the privilege to feel safe doing so, take action with us. What we want to say to Google is that you need to respond. You need to respond because there are hundreds and hundreds of workers who are pleading with you to do the right thing. You have received our emails, you have received our petitions. More and more workers are going to speak out. You owe us an answer. You owe the general public an answer. You owe your Palestinian workers an answer. Everyone deserves better than this. So we are calling on you to do the right thing.